So, warm welcome. Let us come to discuss the civil disobedience movement. इसको हिंदी में शविने अवज्ञा आंदोलन भी बोलते हैं हम लोग. सिविल disobedience मूवमेंट. ये तो पहले जान ले कि ये जो स्टार्ट किया गया था वो मार्च 12, 1930 और डंडी मार्च था. ये डंडी मार्च टू ब्रेक सॉल्ट लॉ, नमक कानून को तोड़ने के लिए. तो मतलब समुद्र तट पे, गुजरात के समुद्र तट पे महात्मा गांधी अपने फॉलोअर्स के साथ मार्च किए थे. इसके पहले पृष्ठभूमि यह है कि महात्मा गांधी पुट बिफोर लॉर्ड इरविन के सामने में 11 प्रस्ताव रखा था महात्मा गांधी ने बिफोर दिस सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट वी स्टार्टेड. और 11 जो पॉइंट्स थे वो ये थे कि उसमें कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट बता दूं कि सॉल्ट टैक्स को हटा दे और फिर जो बहुत अधिक लैंड रेवेन्यू है उसको कम कर दे. ये मतलब 11 जो पॉइंट्स थे उसमें 2 पॉइंट्स है. लेकिन जब हुआ क्या कि व्हेन द डिमांड्स ऑफ महात्मा गांधी वे आर नॉट कंसीडर्ड, देन महात्मा गांधी वेंट फॉर अलोंग विद द फॉलोअर्स सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट, जिसमें कि मैंने बताया जैसा कि इट बिगन ऑन मार्च 12, 1930 and just to break the salt law, it is also known as the Dundee March. अब आप देख लें कि थोड़ा इसके पीछे क्या कारण है. तो कारण में जैसे फॉर्मेशन ऑफ साइमन कमीशन है, डिमांड फॉर डोमिनेंट स्टेटस है, मेनी मोर कॉजेज आर देयर. सी वन बाय वन विदाउट वेस्टिंग अ टाइम एक एक करके हम देखते हैं. ठीक है, चलिए. तो कॉजेज में हम आते हैं यहाँ पे. सिविल डिसओबीडियंस मूवमेंट एंड कॉजेज. कॉजेज में इन नवंबर 1927 1987 में, नवंबर 1927 में, 1927 नवंबर में, इन नवंबर 1927 द ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट क्रिएटेड द इंडियन स्टैट्यूटरी कमीशन एंड दिस आल्सो नोन एज साइमन कमीशन. क्या बोलेंगे इसको? साइमन कमीशन. टू रेकमेंड फ्यूचर constitutional reforms for India. However, this commission did not include any Indian members, which led to outrage across India. People saw this as the British government disrespecting Indians and believing that they were unfit to participate in their own constitutional progress. Protests and strikes broke out in different cities all over the country wherever the Simon Commission traveled. The first point. Then come to the second point. First point, details here, you can see it. The demand for the Dominion status in December 1928. तो पहले वाली बात थी जो साइमन कमीशन जो बात संबंधित था वो नवंबर 1927 की बात थी. ये हम बात करते हैं दिसंबर 1928 की. ड्यूरिंग द कलकत्ता सेशन ऑफ द इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस, लीडर्स कॉल्ड फॉर डोमिनियन स्टेटस, that is self rule, and gave the British government 1 year to accept these demands. If the British government did not respond, the Congress should shift its focus to complete independence from British rule. As a result, under Gandhi's leadership, the civil disobedience movement was planned to achieve this goal. So this is the here is the detail of this point. Then come to the protest. मतलब ये जब हम लोग सिर्फ ये बात कर रहे हैं सिविल डिसोबीडियंस के कॉजेज का. अब थर्ड काउज को देख लें. प्रोटेस्ट अगेंस्ट द अरेस्ट ऑफ द रिवॉल्यूशनरीज, जो क्रांतिकारी थे उनको अरेस्ट कर लिया गया था इनके जस्ट वही प्रोटेस्ट था ये. On April 8, 1929, Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwar Dutt, members of the Hindustan Socialist Republican Army, very important point, threw harmless bombs in the Central Legislative Assembly and were arrested. In jail, they had and other revolutionaries went on hunger strike, demanding better treatment for political prisoners. The death of one of their leaders, and जानते भी लीडर का नाम जतिन दास, यहाँ देख लें जतिन दास. After 64 days of fasting, आप अंदाज करो कि 1-2 दिन फास्ट करना कितना कठिन होता है. ये जतिन दास ने 64 दिन का फास्ट किया था. After 64 days of fasting, led to widespread protest across the country. Okay. Now, as it became clear that the British government was not genuinely interested in granting dominion status, nationalist leaders met in an emergency session in December 1929 in Lahore. याद रखिएगा लाहौर में ये बैठक हुई थी. Under Jawaharlal Nehru's presidencies, they declared Purn Swaraj, ये पॉइंट को याद रखिएगा, or complete independence as the Congress' main objective, and authorized Mahatma Gandhi to launch a full-scale civil disobedience movement at a time. You now come to know about the Dandi March. Dandi March. And it's also called Salt Satyagraha, याद रखिएगा. Mahatma Gandhi had long been preparing for a mass protest and chose the issue of salt as a symbol. The British government imposed heavy taxes on salt, जो मैंने पहले भी कहा था. 11 डिमांड्स में शामिल था ये, जो महात्मा गांधी ने लॉर्ड इरविन के समक्ष रखा था कि सॉल्ट टैक्स को हटाने के लिए, which made it unaffordable for many Indians. Gandhi believed that breaking these salt laws would serve as an effective way to resist British rule. On March 12, see the date here, मैंने बताया भी था शुरू में. तो on March 12, 1930, 1930 में 12 मार्च को, Gandhi and 78 followers began the Dandi March from Sabarmati Ashram in Gujarat to the coastal village of Dandi, which was about 390 kilometers away. Over the next 25 days, they walked to Dandi, and on April 6, 1930, 6 अप्रैल 1930 को, Gandhi picked up a handful of salt, breaking the British imports laws. This marked the formal beginning of the civil disobedience movement. Accompanying Gandhi during this march was Sarojini Naidu. ये देखिएगा, बहुत काफी महत्वपूर्ण बात है ये, याद कर लीजिएगा. One of the prominent leaders in India's struggle for independence. Now, have a glance at the methods and the spirit of civil disobedience movement. Shabine Avangya Andolan. So see, first I begin with the Tamil Nadu. C. Raja Gopalachari organized marches to break salt laws, followed by campaigns against foreign cloth and alcohol. Okay. Next to Tamil Nadu, now come to Malabar. Salt marches were led by uh, a leader known for previous movements. Now come to the Andhra region. Several districts in Andhra Pradesh, including East and West Godavari, witnessed district level salt masses. Now then come to the Bengal. Bengal saw the numerous arrests and violent clashes over salt satyagraha. Surya Sen's Chittagong group even raided government arsenals. Then now come to the Bihar. Here is the point. Salt satyagraha began in Champaran and Saran districts, but later shifted to a more effective non-tax taxation due to practical challenges in making salt. Then come to the Peshawar. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, also known as the Badshah Khan or Frontier Gandhi, याद रखिएगा, led the Khudai Khidmats who were involved in peaceful protest. Now then, corruption. In May 1930, Sarojini Naidu led an effort to raid the Russian salt works where peaceful crowd was brutally beaten by British forces. Now then come to the United Provinces. Protest included non-payment of taxes and calls for tenants to resist payment rent landlords. Okay. चलिए आप देखते हैं कि जो ब्रिटिश इंडिया में उस समय के सरकार का क्या रेस्पॉन्स था मूवमेंट के लिए, उसको समाप्त करने के लिए. द ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट रिस्पॉन्डेड विथ both repression and gestures of conciliation. The movement reached its peak in mid-1930, and the government struggled to deal with it without appearing weak. After such hesitation, much hesitation, the British government finally ordered Gandhi's arrest on May 4, 1930. याद रखिएगा इसको. After he announced plans to lead a raid on the Russian salt works. In a conciliatory move, Viceroy Lord Irwin suggested a round-table conference in July 1930. Reiterating the goal of Dominion status. This indicated the end of the civil disobedience movement. However, the actual end came in two stages, with the British eventually releasing some pressure, but the struggle continued as part of the broader freedom movement. Now then come to the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. To lay the groundwork for the upcoming roundtable conference in England, Mahatma Gandhi engaged in discussions with the Viceroy of India, Lord Irwin, over a period of 2 weeks. These discussions culminated on March 5, 1931, with the signing of the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Agreement was signed by Gandhi on behalf of the Indian National Congress, mind it, while Lord Irwin signed on behalf of the British government. Now the points of agreement remain here. Were immediate release of all political prisoners who had not been convicted of violence. Then come to the return of confiscated lands that had not been sold to third parties. Then come to the lenient treatment for government employees who had resigned, and now right to make salt for personal consumption in coastal villages, and last, the right to peaceful picketing. However, Gandhi's two major demands were not accepted by the British. And what are the demands? तो देखिए यहाँ पे a public inquiry into police excesses during protests, commutation of the death sentence for Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, Sukhdev, and other political prisoners. Despite these setbacks, the Congress agreed to discontinue the civil disobedience movement and participate in a second round table conference in London. The Gandhi-Irwin Pact was significant as it marked the first time the British government recognized Gandhi as a legitimate representative of the Congress and a leader of mass movements. Good point. This agreement placed the Congress on an equal footing with the British government, signaling a shift in how negotiations between India and Britain would be conducted. With these developments, the first phase of the civil disobedience movement ended. In August 1931, Gandhi traveled to London for a roundtable conference, but the British government British government appointed reactionary leaders as delegates. These leaders loyal to the British government claimed that the Congress did not represent the interest of all Indians, effectively weakening Gandhi's efforts to negotiate on India's independence. The conference ultimately failed, and Gandhi returned to India at the end of December 1931. This started. They now come to the civil disobedience movement was reassumed. दोबारा शुरू किया गया इसको. After Gandhi's return from London, the Congress Working Committee convened in Bombay on December 29, 1931. 29 दिसंबर 1931 को बॉम्बे सेशन decided to resume the civil disobedience movement. However, the British government was uncooperative. Instead of engaging in dialogue, the government launched a preemptive strike by arresting Gandhi and other key leaders. Civil liberties were suspended. Ordinances were promulgated across the country, effectively putting civil martial law into place. The government also declared all protests, demonstrations, and peaceful picketing illegal. Within a week, all leading Congress members were arrested, and the movement was crushed with extreme force. Protests, demonstrations, and picketing were met with ruthless action. The government's plan was to ensure that the momentum of the movement, which had built up in 1930, could not be recreated. The movement faded out within a few months. In early April, in early April 1934, Gandhi decided to withdraw the civil disobedience movement, officially ending the second phase. Now, अपन देखते हैं कि सिविल डिसोबीडियंस बिहार के संदर्भ में, ओके, सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट विद रेस्पेक्ट टू बिहार. बिहार का क्या कंडीशन है? The salt satyagraha began in Bihar on April 6, 1930, after Jawaharlal Nehru's visit to the region on April 3. The first major march took place in Champaran, led by Bipin Bihari Burma, where the volunteers grew from 13 to 3,400. Similar marches were organized in Salan, याद रखिएगा, हाजीपुर, गोरिया कोठी, Bareilly, led by leaders like Grish Tiwari, Chandrika Singh, and Bharat Misra. On April 16, 1930, the protest intensified when a march was led to Akharpin, 2 miles from Patna. Leaders such as Ambika Kant Singh, Rambrish Banpuri, and Ramnath Via arrested when they reacted Mangal Talab in Darbhanga. Police brutally arrested peaceful protesters. Sikh was also arrested while marching from Munger to Gauri. In Munger, Nandkishore Singh led a march from South Munger to Lakshmi, breaking the salt law. A packet of salt was purchased by Badi Narayan Singh for a sum of 100 rupees. Now then comes the backward movement. Due to heavy taxes, the actual making of salt was difficult. Therefore, other activities were undertaken as a part of the civil disobedience movement. Mandate. The provincial committee called for a boycott of foreign cloths and goods, production of khadi, and picketing of liquor shops. In Patna, the Swadeshi Sangh was formed to monitor and coordinate these activities. Prominent members included Sher Ali Imam, Sachidanand Sinha, Hassan Imam, and Baldev Shah. Women played a significant role in the boycott, and soft selling liquor were closed due to their dedication. Prominent women leaders like Srimati Hassan Imam and Srimati Vindhya Vashni Devi actively participated. The naked strike was another symbolic form of protest. In Chhapra jail, prisoners demanded Swadeshi-made clothes but were denied. As a result, they decided to go naked in protest. नंगा हो गए प्रोटेस्ट के लिए, विरोध के रूप में. This act, known as the naked strike, नंगा हड़ताल, symbolizing their defiance. Several parts of Bihar, including Champaran, denied payment of Chaukidari tax. Meetings were organized by leaders like Chandravati Devi in Gaya to convince people to refuse refused paying taxes. Srimati Divya was also active on the day of Ramsundar Lal's assassination by police. चलिए अब डालते हैं एक नजर बीरपुर सत्याग्रह पर। बीरपुर सत्याग्रह on June 9, 1931. June 9, 1936. Rajendra Prasad reached Bipur with his colleagues to address a gathering. After the meeting, police started lathi charging the crowd, severely injuring many, including Prasad. 4 members from local council resigned in protest against police brutality. In Sonpur Fair, police lathi charge volunteers participated in the boycott of liquor shops, resulting in many injuries. In total, 13 people were killed in police firing in various parts. Now, including 6 persons in Jamalpur and 2 in Muzaffarpur. Right? And now, see the significance and impact. क्या प्रभाव पड़ा ये जो सिविल डिसऑबिडेंस मूवमेंट में हुआ ऑबिडेंस हुआ, इसका इम्पैक्ट क्या हुआ, क्या इसका महत्व है, इसको हम देखते हैं। तो पहली बात यह है कि एक एक पॉइंट को देखें कि द नंबर ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट्स वाज फॉर ग्रेटर देन इन द अर्लियर नॉन कॉपरेशन मूवमेंट, more than 3 times the number of satyagrahis were arrested. Imports of foreign cloth and cigarettes fell sharply, affecting government revenue from bank taxes and liquid exercise. The movement attracted poor, irritated people who readily accepted arrest for the cause. Women and students actively participated in large numbers, marking a significant shift where women entered the public space. Muslims also participated in northwest frontier province and Bengal, and the Muslim wedding community in Bihar, Delhi and Lucknow was mobilized. The movement spread political awareness among the Indians regarding the rights. Most importantly, for the first time, the British government had to recognize Gandhi and the Congress as equals, which marked a new phase in the freedom struggle. अब लिमिटेशंस का क्या था इसके सिविल डिसऑबिडेंस मूवमेंट के? Limitations में फर्स्ट पॉइंट है क्या? It largely ignored the untouchables who did not benefit from the wider participation. Second point, Muslim political organizations did not fully participate, which led to widened Hindu-Muslim divides. The demand for special seats by Muslims led to disputes between Congress and Muslims, creating tensions. Then many Muslims were alienated, leading becoming a minority in a Hindu majority India. So this way we have seen that before the civil disobedience movement to be started on March 12, 1930, Mahatma Gandhi put 11 demands, charter of demands before the Lord Irwin, failing which now Mahatma Gandhi, along with his followers, went for the Dandi March to break the short law. And you have seen that the causes of the civil disobedience movement, different phases and outcome limitations and desired results. So that's all for the day. This civil disobedience movement is very important. आप इसको पढ़ेंगे अच्छे ढंग से, राइटिंग वर्क्स भी करेंगे और पुनः मैं कहूँगा कि आपकी सफलता ही हमारा मकसद है, हमारी टीम का मकसद है। इसको आप अच्छे ढंग से कैरी करें, राइटिंग वर्क्स भी करें एंड आई एम श्योर you will succeed in examination. That's all for this lecture. Thank you.